Hello and welcome to Create the Flow. I'm Monica Freeman, host and founder of Monica Freeman Studios and Unewell. I am here to guide you in aligning with your soul's purpose, trusting your inner voice, and building a life that you truly love. You were born with a purpose, and your intuition already knows the way. Hello, welcome back to the show. Today I want to talk about how you know it's time for a reset. Those signs that your body signals when you really just need to take a pause and start again. I know that burnout is such like a buzzword, and I have an entire program about getting out of burnout, but burnout is actually recognized now as a medical condition. So it is time, if you are feeling the onset of burnout, stress, overwhelm, fear, just that full body dysregulation, to reset. And a lot of times we don't realize that we are even burnt out because it shows up in like ways that aren't super identifiable, because it doesn't mean that you're tired. Burnout isn't just like, I'm tired today. Burnout is literally a lack of passion for everything. It's when you just don't get excited about anything, including the things that you used to love. It's when you don't have motivation. It's when you're not clear about what you're supposed to be doing, when you feel lost, when you feel overstimulated, overwhelmed. It can show up as mental fatigue. A lot of times we don't realize that we are so tired because our brains are literally on autopilot, just running all the time. We are constantly thinking. And it's beautiful that we have such intelligent bodies. But when we don't have control over our thoughts, they can run the show. And unfortunately, because the majority of our thoughts scientifically have been proven to be negative, that means that we are constantly in this low vibe energy. And that's draining within itself. So when you start to feel the onset of confusion, stress, overwhelm, fear, these negative emotions, these emotions that keep you stuck, they keep you complacent, they keep you feeling lost, they almost bring depression. They make you feel really, really crappy. I want you to, first of all, listen to what your body is saying and take the reset. The pause, the reset, whatever you want to call it, is so beneficial to your body. It took me a very, very long time to understand that hustling and working harder does not equate to more. It doesn't bring you more success. In fact, have you ever taken a week off from your business or stepped away from social media for a few days and you came back and you noticed that when you stopped working so hard, you started getting more followers, more engagement, maybe even more sales if you're an entrepreneur and you use digital media for your business? It's interesting how that happens. You start to get recognized at work. When you start showing up less, all of a sudden people notice how much you are doing. You don't always have to be on. You don't always have to be available. You don't always have to be hustling. I hate the word hustle. I actually hate the whole like, I'm going to grind mentality. I'm going to work as hard as I can, because that to me means you are going to dysregulate your nervous system. Like I said, our bodies are the most intelligent vehicles. They are taking us to the beautiful places that we want to go in this lifetime. But when we don't take care of them, when we start to suppress emotions, when we don't listen to what our body's saying, what happens is your immune system is compromised, first of all, and everything internally starts to shut down. And your mind goes into this like high alert of overprotective, and it wants to work harder to figure out how to fix what's going on internally. But unfortunately, it can't, because your body and your mind are a full connection. They have to be in harmony for things to work, for them to flow. So if you feel like you are at that point where burnout is happening, where your body is sending you signals, mental fatigue is a real thing. So you're tired all the time, you feel stressed, you feel anxious, you might have digestive issues, you can't sleep, everything is making you irritable. That is your body's way of signaling it is time for a break. And sometimes it's just a little weekend reset. It's just turning off media, turn off the TV, turn off the computers, turn off the cell phone, and allow your body to breathe. I don't think we realize how much power we have over our health. The real mind body connection. Science has proven that our thoughts create our reality. So if you are literally suffering, imagine what that's doing internally. The ailments, the diseases, the chronic stress, all the things that you don't want to attract, you're actually manifesting because you're not just taking the time to do that reset, to heal. The very first time I heard the word nervous system regulation, I didn't really understand it. I didn't understand it because it was using in the context of how to make more money. There was a coach at the time, this was a while back now, it was years ago, but there was a coach at the time who was trying to sell her program by teaching money mindset. And she was teaching it through the lens of healing your nervous system. So, of course, that's a very marketable way to sell it because who doesn't want to make more money in their business? Well, when I finally started understanding nervous system regulation and the parasympathetic state, I realized this was the connection to everything in life, not just money. This was the secret to success, to wealth, to health, to relationships, to internal peace, to longevity. It was literally the one thing that could save everything. So I have since made it my life's mission to teach people how to heal internally. Because when you actually heal internally, that mind-body connection, when you heal this burnout and you get to this parasympathetic state, everything becomes magnetic. You start to attract everything to you. And what she was teaching at the time made complete sense to me, but it didn't make sense how big, how important, how life-changing the nervous system is. Now I look at my clients who experience burnout with so much compassion because burnout isn't just, I'm doing too much today. Burnout is, I have been running on empty for so long, I can't do this anymore. And if I don't step in and take control of my body, it's going to work against me. It's going to shut down, physically shut down. You may be hospitalized, you may be bedridden, you might just get really sick. These are all the reality of burnout. And we downplay it because it's become a buzzword. We downplay the onset of these symptoms because they're quote unquote normal, because it's normal to be tired. Well, yes, it is normal to be tired when you don't get adequate sleep. But when you're actually fueling your body with the things that it needs to perform every day, it's not normal to just be tired out of nowhere. That's something that we have made normal. But the reason why is because so many people are living in dysregulation that we've made it seem like that's okay. And it's not. It's not okay because burnout is a real thing. And I'm not here to scare you because this is reversible. It's easily fixable. But you have to actually hear your body signaling to you that it needs a break, that it needs time to step down, even if that means giving up an opportunity, saying no, creating boundaries, walking away from somebody. I had to do all of those things. And I will tell you, it is scary because our ego loves to tell us how to live our lives. But burnout, God, it is so life-threatening. It's really, really bad because it is a step away from stress. It actually is created by stress, and stress is a killer. So again, all reversible, all healable, but I want you to take notice when you feel burnt out, what's happening internally. And don't downplay the symptoms. Don't freak out about the symptoms because everything can be reversed. But I want you to notice, like, I feel tired today. Is this physical exhaustion or is this mental exhaustion? Or I feel stressed today. What is causing this stress? Because if you don't get enough sleep, that impacts your stress levels. If you don't get the proper nutrient dense food, if you don't work out, if you don't regulate, if you're not doing breathing exercises or just breathing properly, all of these things create stress on the body. I'm sharing this because so many people come to me to help them heal in various ways. And it all comes back to the root cause, which is healing your nervous system. And part of healing your nervous system means rewriting your subconscious programming. Our thoughts, I've shared this so many times, are so powerful. They literally can run our lives if we don't take control of them. And the most beautiful thing subconscious reprogramming does is it allows you to create a new narrative internally. It stops that negative loop that goes on and on and on. And trust me, I lived with it, and most of us do, because the entire world has the same reality, which is 80% of our thoughts are negative, but they don't have to be. You can consciously change your neural pathways in your brain. You can consciously step away and reset. You can consciously choose to get more sleep, to say no, to create boundaries, to protect your peace. You can consciously choose to heal your nervous system. It's not easy because it's a conscious act that you do every day. It's like brushing your teeth. It's something that you just program and you do it every day. And one day it feels a little challenging because it's new. And the next day you start to feel better and better and better. And then you see results, and then you can't live without this practice. And then you realize you don't have to do it all day, every day, because your body is regulated. But you can do it 2 or 3 times a week and still have the same impact. It just becomes a lifestyle habit. It becomes something that you can't live without. It becomes the greatest gift you ever had access to, and it's free. It's a beautiful thing when you learn how to heal. So if I can inspire you today to really listen to your body when you start to feel different, when you start to feel nausea, digestive issues, sleep apnea, stress, irritability, mental fatigue. When you start to feel these symptoms, know that you may be at the onset of burnout. And take that reset, take that pause, and allow your body to heal. Reset your body to its homeostasis, to that parasympathetic nervous system state. If you want help with this, my program, Unewal Reset, which I will link in the show notes, is the most transformative program. Not only that, you get direct access to me. We are going to get on a 90-minute call and work through all of the things that you truly need to speak to somebody about. I'm going to help you. I'm going to sit down on a Zoom call and walk you through exactly what's happening internally with you specifically. So if this is something that you're interested in, get into my program. But more than that, I want you to know that every single thing is reversible. The mental fatigue, the stress, the overwork, the overwhelm, these things can be reversed. We can reset you back to your homeostasis. So let's do that. Let's get you to this internal peace. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you'd like more information, you can follow along on Instagram at Create the Flow Podcast, or find me personally at Monica Freeman. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and share it with a friend.